we've had a great convention so far. We've had two powerful women speak back to back on each night. With Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this campaign and where we are now. We've been running for 19 months now. That's a long time. It means that there are babies that have been born. There have been babies that are walking and talking since I started this campaign. And people ask me, what have you learned about America? And I've learned, and I reflect on it, and I tell them, well, first of all, I've learned this is a big country. It is a big country. You go from state to state, traveling from coast to coast, and you realize what a blessing it is, this land that we live on. And obviously people here in Montana understand that better than anybody, because this is as pretty a place as there is in the world. And then the second thing I tell people is that you really learn how wonderful the American people are. Now, any politician will say that, but I've got pretty good credentials here, because I've spoken to hundreds of thousands of people now, and shaken hundreds of thousands of hands, and kissed hundreds of babies, and I can tell you that the American people are a decent and generous people. They work hard. They give back to the community. They look after their families. They are self-reliant, and they are independent. And we have a set of common values that brings us together as Americans. The belief in hard work, honesty, respect, responsibility, community. And those values extend beyond any particular place. I mean, it's not just, you don't just find them in a rural area or an urban area, or black community or white community. Everybody feels that shared sense of what it means, I think, to be an American. And it also means that everybody shares a fundamental love for country. And obviously that's an important topic that I want to raise today amidst so many veterans. That core love of country, and what the fact that, as Steve mentioned, when I think back to my grandfather, who signed up after World War II, or after Pearl Harbor, and ended up fighting in Patton's army in Europe, and is now buried in Punch Bowl National Cemetery of the Pacific in Honolulu, where I had a chance to visit him. And I think back to how that flag was folded and handed to my grandmother, and taps and the gunshots. It captures something essential about who we are as a people, that we're willing to fight and sacrifice on behalf of liberty and on behalf of that American dream. But the other thing I've learned as I've traveled across the country is that American dream sometimes feels like it's slipping away. We are at a tough time right now in this country, and I don't have to tell people here. We have seen an economy that is not working for ordinary people. $6,000 per family was the increase that we saw in family income when Bill Clinton was president. Since George Bush had been president, incomes have gone down $2,000. The jobs keep being shipped overseas. Manufacturing keeps shutting down. We have record number of home foreclosures, the most since any time since the Great Depression. Family bankruptcies. People not being able to pay for health care. People not being able to fill up their gas tanks. Seniors who are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their home heating this winter. Young people having the grades to go to college, but not having the money. I mean, all across America, families are struggling. Not because they're working any less, not because they're any less committed to doing right by their families, but because the economy is not working for them.